Welcome to Ask the Lawyer radio podcast with attorney Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates. This podcast features a recording of our most recent radio show. We hope you enjoy the show, which features news, views, and interviews on matters such as immigration, personal injury, bankruptcy, divorce, family law, estate planning, wills and probate, deed transfers, civil rights, criminal defense, workers' compensation, and taxes, both individual and business. You can contact us at 855-768-8845 or visit us at www.askthelawyer.us. You have questions? We've got the answers.
Why undocumented immigrants should be terrified of Donald Trump. Donald Trump's policies created an unprecedented climate of fear for undocumented immigrants, leaving a lasting mark on immigration policy and public sentiment. His return to power further heightens the stakes for these vulnerable communities. It is imperative to recognize the human cost of these policies and to take decisive action to protect the rights and dignity of undocumented immigrants. A legacy of fear. During his presidency, Donald Trump reshaped the immigration landscape in the United States, creating a climate of fear for millions of undocumented immigrants. From aggressive immigration enforcement to polarizing rhetoric, Trump's policies targeted undocumented individuals, making their lives increasingly precarious. Even after his presidency, his enduring influence continues to stoke anxiety within immigrant communities. This article delves into the reasons undocumented immigrants have every reason to be terrified of Trump's legacy and potential future political ambitions. It explores the devastating impacts of his policies, the systemic barriers immigrants face, and the broader societal implications of these actions. Finally, it offers a call to action for allies and communities to stand against policies that perpetuate fear and inequality. 1. The escalation of immigration enforcement. One of Trump's hallmark strategies was his zero-tolerance immigration policy, which marked a significant escalation in enforcement measures. Increased ICE raids. Under Trump, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE aggressively expanded its operations. High-profile raids targeted workplaces, schools, and even homes, leaving undocumented families in a constant state of fear. Family separations. Perhaps the most infamous policy was the separation of children from their parents at the southern border. Thousands of families were torn apart, with long-term psychological damage inflicted on children and parents alike. Dismantling sanctuary protections. Trump actively sought to undermine sanctuary cities and states, leveraging federal funding as a bargaining tool. This left undocumented individuals in these areas vulnerable to local cooperation with federal immigration authorities. 2. The weaponization of rhetoric. Trump's rhetoric amplified the stigma surrounding undocumented immigrants. Criminals and rapists narrative. From the start of his campaign, Trump's inflammatory language painted undocumented immigrants as threats to public safety. This vilification fueled hate crimes and justified harsh immigration policies. Build the Wall campaign. The border wall became a symbol of exclusion, reinforcing the idea that undocumented immigrants were outsiders unworthy of inclusion in American society. Impact on public sentiment. This rhetoric fostered division, emboldening anti-immigrant groups and creating a hostile environment for immigrants across the country. 3. Legal and systemic barriers. Trump's administration introduced several legal barriers aimed at limiting the rights of undocumented immigrants. End of DACA protections. Trump attempted to terminate the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals (DACA) program, putting nearly 700,000 Dreamers at risk of deportation. Public Charge Rule. The expansion of the Public Charge Rule discouraged immigrants from accessing essential services, fearing that their use of health care or food assistance could jeopardize their immigration status. Asylum restrictions. Trump implemented policies to drastically reduce asylum claims, including the Remain in Mexico policy, which forced asylum seekers to wait in dangerous border regions while their cases were processed. 4. Societal and economic impacts. the consequences of Trump's policies extended beyond individual undocumented immigrants, affecting broader society. Economic contributions. Undocumented immigrants contribute significantly to industries like agriculture, construction, and hospitality. Trump's deportation policies disrupted these industries, leading to labor shortages and economic instability. Fear in healthcare and education. Fear of deportation deterred undocumented individuals from accessing healthcare and enrolling their children in school, undermining public health and education systems. Impact on mixed-status families. Many families include both documented and undocumented members. Trump's policies place these families in impossible positions, risking separation or leaving the country entirely. 5. Why Trump's legacy still matters. Even after leaving office, Trump's impact on immigration remains. Judicial appointments. Trump appointed hundreds of conservative judges, many of whom rule on immigration cases, shaping policy for decades to come. State-level adoption. Trump's immigration philosophy has been embraced by Republican-led states, resulting in localized anti-immigrant legislation. Trump administration. With Trump winning the presidential campaign, undocumented immigrants face the possibility of a return to this hardline immigration policies. He campaigned on mass deportation of immigrants. 6. A call to action. To combat the ongoing challenges posed by Trump's immigration legacy, it is essential to take collective action. Advocate for comprehensive immigration reform. Push for legislation that provides a pathway to citizenship for undocumented individuals and strengthens protections for dreamers. Support immigrant communities. Donate to organizations like the ACLU, United We Dream, and local immigrant rights groups. These organizations provide legal aid, advocacy, and resources for undocumented individuals. Challenge anti-immigrant policies. Actively oppose state and local measures that replicate Trump-era policies. Raise awareness. Share stories that humanize undocumented immigrants and counteract harmful stereotypes. Join the fight for immigrant justice. Undocumented immigrants need allies now more than ever. Here's how you can help. Donate. Support immigrant rights organizations. Vote. Elect leaders committed to humane immigration policies. Advocate. Contact your representatives to demand comprehensive reform. Let's stand together against hate and fear. Immigrants are the backbone of our nation, and their contributions deserve recognition, not punishment. Donald Trump's policies created an unprecedented climate of fear for undocumented immigrants, leaving a lasting mark on immigration policy and public sentiment. His return to power further heightens the stakes for these vulnerable communities. It is imperative to recognize the human cost of these policies and to take decisive action to protect the rights and dignity of undocumented immigrants. Together, we can build a more inclusive and compassionate society, one where no one has to live in fear because of their immigration
Do you have a legal issue, question, or concern? Turn to Ask the Lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. You can also register for our paralegal program, get legal news, business consults, or other information on educational issues. Yes, Ask the Lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us.